الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا ومرشدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد أما بعد الحمد لله. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created us, who sustains us, who once again has brought us together so that we might reflect upon, so that we might understand, so that we might learn about His speech, His kalam, the Qur'an al-Kareem, the noble Qur'an. And this is a Qur'an regarding which there is no doubt, as we will hear. And alhamdulillah, we have completed Juz Amma, the 30th Juz of the Qur'an, the final 30th part of the Qur'an. And we will now begin at the beginning. And we've heard already Surah Al-Fatiha and what Allah Ta'ala tells us in it. So we first of all, when we recite Surah Al-Fatiha, and we recite Surah Al-Fatiha a lot of times during the day, we first of all praise Allah Ta'ala. We talk about some of His attributes. So by talking about His attributes, we are praising Him. If you take a person and you say, you are very noble, you are very pious, you're giving some attributes of that person, but really you're praising them at the same time. So when we say Ar-Rahman, the beneficent, Ar-Rahim, the most merciful, then we are, by remembering His attributes, we are praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And after praising Him, we then acknowledge that it is only with Him that we can seek help. Help can only come with Him. And afterwards, we seek guidance. Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. We seek guidance, not any old guidance, but guidance towards the straight path. Sirat al-ladhina an'amta alayhim. The path which Allah Ta'ala has given to those people whom He has honored, whom He has blessed. غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ. Not those people upon whom the wrath of Allah Ta'ala has come, وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ, and not those who have gone astray. So we want this guidance. And once we've asked for this guidance in Surah Al-Fatiha, we hear in Surah Al-Baqarah that this guidance doesn't come for everyone. It comes to a group of people who are the muttaqeen. And we will come to this inshallah. But Surah Al-Baqarah is a surah that was revealed in Medina Munawwara. It is the longest surah in the Qur'an, and many will refer to it as a mini Qur'an, because in it you will find all of the different subjects that are mentioned in the Qur'an. It's all there. If you're looking for Aqidah, if you're looking for the belief, the creed that we should have, the belief in the Rububiyyah, the Uluhiyyah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all of these things are in Surah Al-Baqarah. If you're looking for the ahkam, the rulings regarding different things, you will find it in Surah Al-Baqarah. If you're looking for mention of the Anbiya alayhimus salam, the different prophets that came before, they are mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah. So you'll find many different topics mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah. It was revealed at the beginning of the Prophet ﷺ's time in Medina al-Munawwara, in the first 2 or 3 years before the Battle of Badr. And so it's worth looking at the context in which it was revealed. The Prophet ﷺ, along with the believers, had left Makkah al-Mukarramah after a lot of hardship. They had undergone a lot of suffering, a lot of persecution. they left all of that to come to Madinatul Munawwarah. It was known as Yathrib at the time, but once he had come there, it was known as Madinatul Nabi, the city of the Prophet. And then that became Al-Madinah, the city. And now we say Madinah Munawwarah, the enlightened city. Because of course, where the Prophet ﷺ was and is, there is light. SubhanAllah. So, when the Prophet ﷺ arrived in Madinatul Munawwarah, he found that there were different groups of people. He found that there were the Arabs, and the two main tribes were the Aus and the Khazraj. And then there were the Jews. The main two tribes were the Qurayza and the Nadir. And the Arabs at the time had dominion over that place because they were the original inhabitants of the land. But the Jews at the time had an intellectual dominion. They were seen as the more academic people, the people who had more intellect, the people who had more knowledge. And this was because they had the books. They had the Torah. They had the scriptures with them. So the Jews had said to the Arabs at the time that we are waiting for a prophet who will come to us and he will give us power over you. And they described him in a perfect way, in such a way that when the Prophet ﷺ did come, then the Arabs from Madinah Munawwarah recognized him from that description that the Jews had given them. That yes, you are surely that prophet that the Jews of our land described. And so they believed in him, hoping that they would believe in him before the Jews would even believe in him. And yet when the Jews came to hear of him, they found that he was not a prophet, he was not the messenger who had come to them to give them power over others, but rather he had come to make them brothers of these Arabs, to make them all brothers in Islam. And they could not accept this. And so they became sworn enemies of the Prophet ﷺ, and they caused a lot of difficulty and grievances. So this was the context. And then you had some people from amongst the Arabs and also from amongst the Jews who claimed on the outside that they were believers, but on the inside they were not. And they were known as the Munafiqeen, and they were perhaps the most evil of them all, because in their actions was deception, and this is very evil. So Allah Ta'ala describes at the beginning of this surah the believers, then He describes those who openly disbelieve, and then He describes and He gives a long description of those Munafiqeen, those people who on the outside said something and on the inside there was something else. So Surah Al-Baqarah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alif Lam Mim. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. Allah Ta'ala starts off this surah by reminding us that we are ignorant, that we don't know everything, that there are gaps in our knowledge. And indeed, there is a person in the past who has said that half of knowledge is to say, La adri, I don't know. This is half of knowledge. To acknowledge that one does not know everything, this is a great thing. And Allah Ta'ala says, Alif Lam Mim. What does this mean? We don't know. And indeed, we're not required to know. But we are required to accept that this is an ayah from the Qur'an. We are required to accept it and believe in it. And we are required to acknowledge that only Allah knows. The knowledge of it is with Allah. Also, imagine that these were Arabs who prided themselves in their language. And when they used to hear the Qur'an, then they used to turn away. And they used to try and not hear it. They would put their fingers in their ears. So imagine then when they hear someone starting to recite the Qur'an and then someone says Alif Lam Mim, they will be drawn to this speech. What is he talking about? So they will turn and they will start listening. And then they will hear what is coming afterwards. Also, it's worth remembering that these are letters that are not alien to Arabic. They are from the Arabic language. It is these letters and others like them that are used to make up the everyday speech in Arabic. So Allah is reminding them that, look, these are the same letters that you use in your everyday speech, and yet you do not understand them. Look how weak you are, how ignorant you are. So first of all, Allah wants us to accept our ignorance. This is how He is starting the Qur'an, subhanAllah, and also the Surah Al-Baqarah. And then He refers to this kitab, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَاب, this is the book. لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, there is no doubt in it. Raib means doubt, it means that feeling of unease, when a person isn't quite sure of something. No. La rayba fi, there is no unease regarding this. There is no doubt regarding this. This is the truth. Huda, and it is guidance. Remember that guidance that you sought before, Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Well, on the very next page, Allah saying, here it is. Huda, this is the guidance you asked for. Lil muttaqeen, but it's not for everyone. There will be many people who will recite the Qur'an and then they will think, yes, what is this book? It speaks of different, it speaks of times past. There is no guidance in it. There will be people who will not be guided, but there will be some people who are guided. And who are these people? Because we want to be amongst these people who recite the Qur'an and gain this guidance. They are the muttaqeen. They are those people who save themselves from all evil. They are those people who acknowledge that Allah is with them, He is watching them, He is listening to them. They are the muttaqeen. They are those people who go towards all that is good and stay away from all that is evil. But who are they? We may wonder still. Who are these muttaqeen of Allah? Allah then goes on to describe them. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. First of all, He talks about their belief. They believe in the unseen. They are those people who believe in the unseen. It's very easy to believe in the seen. If we're able to sense something in front of us, then it's very easy to believe in it. But if a person believes in the unseen, in that which we cannot sense with our five senses, but if we still believe in it, then this is a great thing. And this is what Allah wants from us, to believe in the unseen, to believe in Him, to believe in the malaika, the angels, the anbiya who came before, and so on, all of these things, the day of judgment. So they believe. But this isn't enough. They may be believers, they may be mu'minun, but they may not be muttaqeen. They do more. They do وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. They establish their prayer. Allah didn't just say وَيُصَلُّونَ, they pray. No, He said وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. They establish their prayer. وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. And from that which we have given them, they spend. وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. And from that which we have given them, they spend. So here Allah Ta'ala is reminding us of some of the attributes of the muttaqeen, that they have belief, that they establish their prayer, and these prayers are therefore actions of the body. And these are the rights of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala over us. And they spend their wealth. So they fulfill the rights of the people around them by giving to the poor and the needy. So they are also fulfilling the actions of the body and the actions of the wealth. So all of these ibadat are encompassed in this. All of these types of worship. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ. And they are such people who believe in that which has come to you. وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ. And that which has been revealed to those who came before you. Those Anbiya alayhimus salam, and there were many thousands who came before. Those who received revelation, they believe in all of those revelations. Whether we know of those revelations or not. There were many books that came, we've never heard of them. We know about the Torah, we know about the Injil, we don't know about many other books. But we believe in them. Oh Allah, if you sent them down, we believe in them. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. And in the Akhirah, they have yaqeen. They have a firm belief. They have no doubt in it regarding that, the life that will come after death. They accept that this life is temporary and what will come after will be forever. They believe it firmly. So we have heard some of their attributes. أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَىٰ هُدًى مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ. They are upon guidance from their Lord. So that guidance that Allah talked about, that this is the book, this is guidance, those are the people who have truly gained from that guidance. And it has been included in their actions, their beliefs. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. And they are the successful ones. They are the ones who will achieve success. Success in the truest sense of the word. Not any old success, not necessarily gaining the material things of the world. They may not achieve this, but they will surely achieve the success of the Akhirah, and that is the success that will stay forever. So Allah has described the muttaqeen, those who have achieved this hidayah. Then He continues and talks about those who disbelieve. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Surely those who have disbelieved, and we've said before that kufr is not only to be a disbeliever, but also ingratitude. So kufrun ni'mah, to be ungrateful for something that someone has given us. Because this is the height of ingratitude. When Allah has given us so much, and yet we don't even acknowledge Him, we don't even acknowledge His presence. So إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Surely those who have done kufr. There is no difference whether you warn them or you don't warn them. It is the same. Whether you warn them or you don't warn them, لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. They will not believe. They have been ungrateful. خَتَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ. Allah has sealed their hearts. وَعَلَىٰ سَمْعِهِمْ. And He has sealed their hearing. وَعَلَىٰ أَبْصَارِهِمْ غِشَاوَةٌ. And upon their sight there is a cover. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ. And for them is a great punishment. When we say seal, think of a bottle. It may have some contents. If you seal it, then nothing can get in and the contents can't get out. So if Allah is saying that He has sealed their hearts, then this means that their hearts which have the kufr in them, the kufr can't come out and the iman can't get in. This is because of what they have done with their disbelief. They've gone so far in their disbelief. And then Allah Ta'ala talks about the hearing and the sight. So the senses. We talked about the unseen and how those things that our senses can't reach, that is the unseen, and we are required to believe in them. So Allah Ta'ala says that these senses of hearing and sight, these things are also covered for them because they have stopped using them. They were given to them so that they might take in the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They might listen to the signs of Allah. They might listen to the ayat of the Qur'an. They might see the signs of Allah ta'ala around them. But they are not using them. So it is as though Allah ta'ala has sealed them. and upon their eyes there is a cover. So they can't see, even if they're looking towards the truth, they can't see it. And for them it's a great punishment. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَمَا هُم بِمُؤْمِنِينَ يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَمَا يَخْدَعُونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ فِي قُلُوبِهِم مَّرَضٌ فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ بما كانوا يكذبون وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون ألا إنهم هم المفسدون ولكن لا يشعرون وإذا قيل لهم آمنوا كما آمن الناس قالوا أنؤمن كما آمن السفهاء ألا إنهم هم السفهاء ولكن لا يعلمون. So Allah Ta'ala has talked about the muttaqeen, He has talked about the kuffar, those people who have disbelieved. And then Allah Ta'ala talks about those people who have done nifaq, the hypocrites. And there were some in Medina Munawwara. And indeed, some are mentioned in the books of Tafseer, like Ibn Ubay, Abdullah ibn Ubay. There was Mu'tab ibn Qushayr and Al-Jadd ibn Qais. So these are some of the names. So Allah says regarding them, and from the people, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ, and from the people there are such people who say that we have believed in Allah and in the last day, but they are not believers. So they say one thing, but they harbor other things inside. يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. They think that they are deceiving Allah, they are beguiling Allah and those who have believed. So they think that they are deceiving Allah and they are deceiving the believers. وَمَا يَخْدَعُونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُم. But the only ones they are deceiving are themselves. وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ. And yet they do not even notice. And this is a very evil place to be. And it's something for us to reflect upon. When a person starts committing a sin, then he will have that feeling that no, I shouldn't be doing this. His conscience will stop him. So hopefully next time he won't do it. But if he goes against that conscience, and once again he does that deed, then once again his conscience might say, don't do this, you're doing bad. So he might stop, but he might continue. Until there will come a point when his conscience will think that this is normal. And that feeling of this is wrong, that feeling that he has in his heart, that will be lost. And when he loses that feeling, then he has lost everything. Because then he will continue to sin. And there will be nothing inside. This nafs will not stop him. And this is the case with these people. Allah says that they think they are deceiving Allah. They think they are deceiving the believers, but they are only deceiving themselves. And they may have understood at the beginning that they are deceiving only themselves, but then they continued in their actions until they lost that feeling, that understanding. So a person, when they are going towards sin, then they should listen to their conscience. Because that in itself is a great ni'mah. It's a great blessing from Allah. If a person's conscience stops him from committing a sin. فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ. In their hearts there is a disease. Diseases come in many forms. They can be physical, they can be mental, and they can be spiritual. And this is in the heart. They have a disease. فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا. But they don't do anything about it. Rather they welcome this disease. So Allah has increased that disease for them. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. And for them there is a painful punishment بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ, because of the lies that they used to tell. So this tells us how evil lying is. they used to lie regarding their belief in Allah, look at the punishment that they are getting. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, and when it is said to them that don't spread corruption in the land, and corruption in the land can mean many things. It can mean disbelief in itself, kufr, but it can also mean any sort of corruption in the land. When it is said to them, do not spread corruption in the land, قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ, no, we are actually doing the opposite. We are spreading goodwill. We are doing good things in the world. We are spreading goodness. We are doing good actions. أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ الْمُفْسِدُونَ وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. Surely they are those people who spread corruption, and yet they do not notice, they do not know. Once again, that feeling, that understanding has been lifted from them. So they think they are doing good, and they are convincing themselves that they are doing good, but rather they are spreading corruption. To the point where even if someone reminds them that no, you are doing evil things, they think that no, I am doing good. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسِ, and when it is said to them that believe in Allah, believe in Islam, as the people have believed around you, as the other Arabs of Makkah, as many of the Jews had believed, accept Islam. They say, قَالُوا أَنُؤْمِنُ كَمَا آمَنَ السُّفَهَاءُ. They say, should we believe, should we have Iman as those people that we ridicule have Iman? Those lesser beings, those lesser people, those people that we don't even look at, those people who have believed, those stupid people, should we believe like them? أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ السُّفَهَاءُ. Rather, no, they are the stupid ones. وَلَكِنْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. But they do not know. So this is a recurrent thing. وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. And yet they do not feel it. They don't have that feeling. وَلَكِنْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. And yet they do not know. So when we go towards any evil, if we have that feeling, then we should listen to it. That feeling that's stopping us, we should listen to it. Because otherwise, there may come a time when we lose that feeling. وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا آمَنَّا وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ قَالُوا إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ اللَّهُ يَسْتَهْزِئُ بِهِمْ وَيَمُدُّهُمْ فِي طُغْيَانِهِمْ يَعْمَهُونَ أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا فلما أضاءت ما حوله ذهب الله بنورهم وتركهم في ظلمات لا يبصرون صم بكم عمي فهم لا يرجعون. So when it is said, when they meet the believers, whenever they meet the people who have believed, قَالُوا آمَنَّا, they say, we have believed, we are believers like you. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ, but when they go into seclusion with their shayateen, meaning their leaders, those people that they really look up to, those disbelievers, قَالُوا إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ, they say that we are with you. إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ, rather we are ridiculing those believers. We are deceiving them and we are making fun of them. اللَّهُ يَسْتَهْزِئُ بِهِمْ, but Allah says, Allah is ridiculing them. وَيَمُدُّهُمْ فِي طُغْيَانِهِمْ يَعْمَهُونَ, and He is letting them wander in their rebellion. They are wandering around. They think that they are very clever, that they are ridiculing the believers. But Allah is ridiculing them. He is giving them a chance. He is giving them time. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ اشْتَرَوُا الضَّلَالَةَ بِالْهُدَى, they are such people who have bought being astray, ضَلَالَة, misguidance by selling their guidance. So they have taken this guidance, the guidance that they had received, and they sold it. And they took misguidance instead. So this is the business that they have indulged in. They have sold their guidance away. فَمَا رَبِحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ. But this business has not given them any profit. وَمَا كَانُوا مُهْتَدِينَ. And they are not guided. And then Allah gives a couple of examples of these people. مَثَلُهُمْ كَمَثَلِ الَّذِي اسْتَوْقَدَ نَارًا. Their example, their similitude is like the person who lights a fire. فَلَمَّا أَضَاءَتْ مَا حَوْلَهُ. When he's lit the fire, and with this fire he gets warmth and he's able to see his surroundings, because this is at night time. He's able to see his surroundings now with light. ذَهَبَ اللَّهُ بِنُورِهِمْ. Allah Ta'ala takes away that light. وَتَرَكَهُمْ فِي ظُلُمَاتٍ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. And Allah leaves them in the darkness and they're not able to see. So imagine that they think that they have achieved a great thing in this world. So they've lit that fire. They're able to see around them and they think that everything is wonderful. And then death comes to them, Allah takes away that light. And so they're left in darkness and they're not able to see anything. صُمٌّ بُكْمٌ عُمْيٌ فَهُمْ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ. Summun means deaf, bukmun meaning dumb, and umyun meaning blind. So Allah Ta'ala has sealed their hearing, their speech, and their eyes. فَهُمْ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ. So they cannot return to their evil ways, and they cannot return to the guidance that Allah gave them. Because they've gone so deep into this evil, into this corruption. أَوْ كَصَيِّبٍ مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ. Or like the rain clouds, a rainstorm in the heavens. فِيهِ ظُلُمَاتٍ. In it you find darkness. وَرَعْدٌ. And you find thunder. وَبَرْقٌ. And you find lightning. يَجْعَلُونَ أَصَابِعَهُمْ فِي آذَانِهِمْ مِنَ الصَّوَاعِقِ حَذَرَ الْمَوْتِ. When they hear the thunder, it fills them with such fear that they put their fingers in their ears. وَاللَّهُ مُحِيطٌ بِالْكَافِرِينَ. But of course Allah is all-encompassing with the disbelievers. He is encompassing them all. Nothing can run away from Him. Nothing can get away from Him, from His power. يَكَادُ الْبَرْقُ يَخْطَفُ أَبْصَارَهُم. This barq, this lightning, comes close to taking away their sight. If they were to look at it long enough, if they were to stare at it, then it comes so bright that it could take away their sight. كُلَّمَا أَضَاءَ لَهُمْ مَشَوْا فِيهِ. And you can imagine these people, they are in the darkness. They are walking along. They're scared of this lightning. They're scared of it. And yet when it comes, then this is the only light they have to walk. And then وَإِذَا أَظْلَمَ عَلَيْهِمْ قَامُوا. When the lightning goes, then they stop again. And they wait for the next bit of lightning. So they are torturing themselves by disbelieving in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the way that this person would be torturing themselves by waiting for each bit of lightning. And yet he knows that each bit of lightning might take away his sight. Such a sorry state of affairs. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَذَهَبَ بِسَمْعِهِمْ وَأَبْصَارِهِمْ. And if Allah wanted, He could take away their hearing with that thunder, وَأَبْصَارِهِمْ, and He could take away their sight with that lightning. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Surely Allah is able to do all things. We know that the barq, we know that the ra'd, the thunder, when we hear it, it is actually doing tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says in Surah Al-Ra'd, in the surah of the thunder, وَيُسَبِّحُ الرَّعْدُ بِحَمْدِهِ. And the thunder does tasbih with the hamd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with glorifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So every time you hear the thunder, then this should bring us to also do the dhikr and the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ مِنْ خِيفَةٍ. And not only the thunder, but also the malaika, the angels, they also do tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of the fear of Allah. If you think that the thunder strikes fear into our hearts, the thunder is doing tasbih of Allah out of fear of Him. So how much fear of Allah should we have? Then we'll just, one more ayah inshallah. Ya ayyuhan nasu u'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum walladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. And then Allah Ta'ala, after describing the believers, after describing those people who have disbelieved, after describing the munafiqeen and that long, lengthy description of the munafiqeen, He says, O mankind, Ya ayyuhan nas, u'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum. Worship your Lord. And this is our purpose. Worship your Lord. U'budu rabbakum. Who is this Lord of yours? Alladhi khalaqakum, the one who created you, the one who gave you existence. Walladhina min qablikum, and not just you, but those who came before you. If you harken back to your fathers and your forefathers, if you read any history, anyone that is mentioned, anything that is mentioned, it was all created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah Ta'ala wants us to worship Him. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Why does He want us to worship Him? So that we might achieve the taqwa. So the end goal is this taqwa. And the taqwa will lead us into Jannah, inshallah. So this is what we need to achieve. And if we can achieve this taqwa by worshipping Allah, then we will be able to gain from this guidance that we find in this book as well, which was mentioned at the beginning of this surah. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Guidance for those people with taqwa. And many other actions, when we think of the action of sawm, fasting, why were we told to do this? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that we might achieve taqwa. So taqwa is what we need. When we're able to understand that Allah is with us, He is watching us, He knows everything that we do, then inshallah we can gain from the guidance of this book. To conclude, inshallah, a couple of ahadith. The Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said, لا تجعلوا بيوتكم مقابر إن الشيطان ينفر من البيت الذي تقرأ فيه سورة البقرة. Do not make your homes cemeteries, graveyards. Surely shaitan runs from the house in which Surah Al-Baqarah is recited. This is in Muslim. And then there is another hadith in Muslim where the Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said, اقرأوا سورة البقرة. Read Surah Al-Baqarah. Why? فَإِنَّ أَخْذَهَا بَرَكَةٌ. Because to grasp hold of it is barakah, it's blessing. وَتَرْكَهَا حَزْنٌ. And to leave it is remorse. You will be remorseful. وَلَا يَسْتَطِيعُهَا الْبَطَلَ. And those people who do black magic, they cannot overcome it. So if a person is fearful of black magic, then one should recite Surah Al-Baqarah as we hear in this surah, in this hadith. So to grab hold of Surah Al-Baqarah is barakah, is blessing for us. To leave it is remorse. Anyone who leaves it, they will be saddened and they will be left wishing that they had kept hold of it. And the black magic people, those magicians, they are not able to overcome Surah Al-Baqarah. So this person is safeguarded. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to recite Surah Al-Baqarah. And may Allah make us from the muttaqeen, from those people who gain the guidance from the Qur'an. May Allah save us from being amongst those who have done kufr and those people who have done hypocrisy, nifaq.
Surah Baqarah talks about Aqim as-Salat. Many of the verses talk about Aqim as-Salat. So, just want to clarify, what is the difference between Aqim as-Salat, the establishment of the Salat, and the praying the Salat?
Yes, so that's mentioned in various books of Tafseer actually. So it's one thing to perform Salah, and there are levels of Salah. So there is the person who will simply perform salah in a way where he is fulfilling his fard, and that's it. There will be other people who will perform their salah, taking care with their qiyam, their ruku', their sujood, with their tilawah, ensuring that they recite with tajweed, all of these different things. They will take real care with their salah. They will ensure that they've done their wudu properly, so preparation for the salah, understanding that they are standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they are speaking to Him, and then ensuring that every part of their salah is done correctly. And then also ensuring that they perform salah on time, as much as possible, performing the salah in the masjid with jama'ah. All of these things, this is iqamatul salah, the establishment of salah, when you establish it firmly, as opposed to just performing salah. And so Allah says, وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ and أَقِيمِ الصَّلَاةِ. Whenever we hear about this, it's about establishing the prayer, making it part of your life and molding your life around your times of salah, and around your salah. So this is what the Mufassirun.
Also, when you said Surah Al-Baqarah is protection against black magic, is it sort of a cure you have to do ongoing? So if anyone is trying to, it's just
so this from this hadith, it seems like the Prophet ﷺ is talking about it as a preventative measure. So if in the household where Surah Al-Baqarah is recited, such evil will not penetrate, basically, won't come. So it's a safeguard against black magic.